Here we go, week 4 NFL gambling show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a little bit of a tough stretch for me as I look to get back on the right track. JM, a nice week last week. JM, how are we doing?
Doing good, man. Finally hit a damn 3-star.
Yeah, you were 0-2 on that.
0 for 2 to start. Starting to see the board better, though, as the weeks go on. You know, we're starting to understand, all right, who's good, who's bad, who's coming off a win where they got bailed, who's coming off a loss where things just didn't look right, and they're going to bounce back this week. So, starting to get into the flow of things.
Giants look good. That's a team that looks good.
Giants look good.
This will be out.
What did you discouraged me? I could have made a lot of money on the Giants this weekend. I texted you Sunday morning. I texted him Sunday morning. I was like, really like the Giants. But like I sent like the invisible ink because I was like too scared to like say it out loud.
So you were scared. You were scared.
Yeah, it was a scared, confident thing I had going on, which is a bit of an
response
oxymoron.
again?
But like, what you were like, they're not scoring more than 10 points. Like you were like, I don't see how they score the ball today.
Yeah, well, they did. Giants look good. No, the Giants don't look that good. But they will play a Thursday night game, which we'll know the outcome when this is out.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. I love doing this little, in between
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
I'm confident right now. I might be dead, and I'm not really confident, but,
Well, I mean, there's no point in talking about it on camera because, like you said, it will be coming out. But it's going to be a
Call
game.
your shot.
Like,
Call your shot. Call your shot right now. We'll see if you're right on Friday. 4.5, 5.5 point spread.
Giants cover and lose.
Cowboys cover and win. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to start off. We're going to do the game of the week, the 425 game of the week. We're going to do the Sunday night game, just a little, preview, give a pick. And then we're going to go into our 3 stars, and we actually didn't decide on what we're going to do for a prop parlay, so we're going to have to do that live on camera. So this is a lot of fun. So we will start, though, with what should have been a really good game, which now might not be a good game. That's the Chiefs and the Chargers. I see you edited the spread here. It's 8.5 now?
I did not touch the spread, Mike.
Oh, okay. So I have to go look at the number. It's 8 or 8.5. The Chargers are dogs at home to the Chiefs. We don't know if Herbert's going to play. Probably not going to play. They also have a bye coming up after this week. So I would expect he doesn't play. They keep him out. It's an ankle injury. That's tough. But, JM, I love the Chargers here, even with the backup quarterback against a Chiefs team that doesn't look amazing and has a hard time covering these spreads.
Mike, I got what they call PTSD with the Chargers a little bit. Nothing terrible, but I had them as a 1-star last week, and if I would have hit that, it would have been a clean sweep of the weekend on my board. And I said regardless if it was Heineke or if it was Herbert, I thought they were going to cover, and I mean I was basically picking them to win the game.
Yeah.
It was a 2.5 point spread in Pittsburgh. That didn't end up working out. They lost the game by multiple scores. So I'm a little more skeptical on the Herbert-less Chargers because when he left the game, that's really when the Steelers pulled away last weekend. But that being said, I mean the Chiefs have won. They're 3-0 now, and they have a total winning margin. Their point differential is plus 13 through 3 games. So they are by no means blowing teams out. And, they've played they've played a decently tough schedule here. The Ravens, the Bengals, the Falcons. 2 of those 3 teams I just said are having way more disappointing starts than we anticipated. But on paper, still great teams. It's a bit of a coin flip to me right now because they don't blow out teams, but they're the Chiefs. And you don't have Justin Herbert on the field, we think, right now.
The spread is 7.5, so I was wrong on both numbers that I gave out. But, yeah, it's a really tough game. The only thing I'm going to say is, and Herbert's great, and I'm not saying he's not great, but how much was Herbert actually asked to do in those first 2 wins there, and even in that game against Pittsburgh? It's been a run-heavy style of offense here. And, again, I'm not comparing Heineke and Herbert in any sense of the imagination, but just based on what has been asked of Justin Herbert this year, I think I trust the defense and the run game enough to keep them in it a little bit at 7.5 and keep it within a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. Some of the things you're not considering, though, number one, this is a home game for the Chargers, so basically it's a neutral site because we all know that stadium, you saw Niners-Rams the other day, joke.
Just spilling the water all over me.
Attaboy. 0 LA fans for football whatsoever. The Chiefs play in Kansas City, so you might be thinking, oh, well, that's a little far away. Nope, doesn't matter. The bandwagons are going to pop out. People will make the flight, whatever. It's not going to be a big home field advantage for the Chargers. Injuries, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, Joey Bosa. Like this team, and obviously Justin Herbert, team is really banged up. So without those bookend tackles potentially, what's this run game going to look like? What's this pass protection going to look like? And that's a really, really tough Kansas City defense, especially the D-line.
Okay, never mind. This definitely was something that I was considering putting on my board, and I may still bet it on Sunday, but I'm not as confident as I was. I forgot both offensive line might be out this week, so that could be a real issue. But if they were playing, I would love the Chargers. I mean, I would be all over the Chargers here.
Well, it was. I told you before we recorded, when I first saw the number, I was like, "Ooh, I like that," because public is heavily on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs can't blow out teams. But this might be an exception.
It could be. We'll see what happens. We're moving on. Sunday Night Football, a fantastic game. The Bills at the Ravens. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites in this game at home. The Ravens coming off the big win against Dallas, although they almost blew it, and the Bills, they look like the best team in football, and Josh Allen is playing like the best player in football. You called me before. You were like, this is a rat line. I agreed with you. There is a right side here, JM. I don't know if I can get there, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I can make the right pick because of how good Buffalo's playing.
It's
the
tough.
side is the Ravens.
This is one of those times where you gotta think to yourself, okay, am I going to stick true to the way things go in football and trust that all things are going to balance themselves out when it comes to the rat line here, and be like, yeah, the Bills look great, but Vegas wants you to take it. I'm sure the Ravens have a fire under their ass after the first 3 weeks of just skating by against Dallas. The Bills have to come back down to earth a little bit. The play is to take the Ravens. Or do you try to be like, okay, I'm really overthinking this. Buffalo looks incredible. Josh Allen seems to be the best he's ever been without Stephon Diggs, because he threw a little dig in the media and said,
great.
Nobody cares about stats. That's the great thing about this offense. The Bills look tough, but they also haven't been tested. That is one, they played, and that's not a knock against them. They're so good, they haven't been tested yet, but it's going to come up sooner or later, and this could be a test for them, because they're on the road against a tough Baltimore team that sure isn't off to the best start, but they've played every game close. That Kansas City game came down to Isaiah Likely being a shoe size too big. It came down against the Raiders to them just choking a game. They can't close games. I don't know what is going on.
That's the problem here for me. The defense hasn't looked good. The defense is not the same. You mentioned the offensive line before the year. The offensive line's banged up now. They're really not playing well. And Josh Allen and this Bills team, get the sense they just play really well. This is not the first time they've started a season hot. They play very well in September. And we're still going to be in September on Sunday. It's a primetime game. I get that. They look so efficient on offense.
Fantastic.
Joe Brady, what he's got going over there, it just looks so efficient, so much better than it did last season early. And then even with Joe Brady at the end of the year, it looks better than that.
Yeah. And the complete opposite, these teams last year versus this year. Buffalo's offense was like on and off last year, couldn't get going. And that Baltimore offense was smooth like butter. I mean, they were really, really good and seemed to get better as the season went on. Lamar won the MVP. Now we're talking about Josh Allen being the MVP, and this Ravens offense can't really get going. It's just like they have the potential. It looks like they have the pieces there. They have the talent, but they just can't seem to put it together yet. So it's a really, really tough pick, but I'm on the side of the Ravens.
Yeah, I like the Bills here. I think I'm going to bet the Bills just out of
I am going to overthink it.
I don't want to sit down on Sunday night and have to root against Josh Allen. That's the pick I'm making.
I'm also I'm on the Ravens, but
you don't feel good about it.
It really, you feel. The only reason I do feel good about it is just because, this would be so NFL, so Vegas for the Ravens to cover this spread, right? But there's also the possibility of, after Sunday Night Football concludes, of you sitting there and being like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Right.
I really just convinced myself that Baltimore was going to win this game and cover this spread, and, the Bills just won 34-17 or whatever, That is a shitty feeling, but I'm still on the side of the Ravens.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a great game. That's Sunday Night Football. There's 2 Monday night games. We're not going to talk about one of them because I can't do it. I can't bring myself to doing it. The Titans and the Dolphins. We will not talk about that one. We will talk about the very intriguing Monday Night Football game, which has Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call. By the way, I had it wrong. I heard the wrong information on Brady this week. Brady is not doing, if you listen to the episode earlier in the week, Brady is not doing the Patriots-Niners game. He's doing Eagles-Bucks this week.
Really?
So he is doing a former team. I heard it wrong. I was listening to the radio. I heard he was going to San Francisco. They were clearly wrong.
Okay.
He will be. I wanted to make that correction.
Yeah.
Anyway, Seahawks-Lions. This is a good game, JM. I've never seen a team with a more bailed schedule in my life than the Seattle Seahawks. Bo Nix, his first start on the road. Okay, that was the first game. The second game was in New England. And the third game was against Skylar Thompson at home. Yeah. So now you travel to the Lions with a really good home field advantage. They play very well at home. And they haven't played well at home this season. And it gives me the confidence that this Detroit team is finally going to break out on offense. Looked pretty good last week against Arizona. But I have the confidence here the Lions are going to break out, cover this 4-point spread, win by a couple of touchdowns. I really like the Lions this week.
I'm heavy on the Lions. I mean, they're sort of running into the same scenario they ran into last week. Like Arizona was coming off a great game against the Rams, and the Lions themselves obviously won last week, but they were coming off a bad loss to the Buccaneers. So, it was a bit of a disrespectful line for them, and they got back together. They put the Cardinals back down to earth where they belonged, and they won by multiple scores. And that's kind of how I see this game going too. Like you just said, the Seahawks, a 3-0 start. Crazy, really easy schedule. The Seahawks are not going to be 4-0. Like, come on. I mean, I don't want to, disrespect them too much. I think that they've been a little bit of a surprise, and I think that they could certainly be a wild card team. But once the 49ers get going, it's their division. I view them more on the same level as the Cardinals, battling for second place. And there's just no way that they walk into Detroit and win this game.
The defense has been very good, but again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. I think they're ranked 1 on every defensive metric you could find. But you've played Bo Nix, Skylar Thompson, and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
This is a completely different animal with a rookie head coach going up against a very good coaching staff and a very good offensive play caller in Ben Johnson. So the Lions would be the side for me here. I just don't trust this team yet in the Seahawks. If they win this game, though, this is a very similar game to last season, actually. Last year, it was an early 1 o'clock game, the Lions, Hawks in Detroit, and I didn't believe in what the Hawks did with the first year with Geno.
Right.
And I faded them hard, and I got burnt because they went there. I don't remember if they upset them there in overtime in a really high-scoring game.
37-31, I remember. It was a blowout, or it was a high-scoring game.
I hope I don't get burned again here going against the Hawks in Detroit. They're also debuting those black uniforms. Very nice. The All Blacks.
They are.
I don't know if I like them or not. We got to see.
Who was wearing throwbacks? Oh, the Vikings. So I took Vikings money line last week against the Texans, and then I saw they were wearing the throwbacks, and I'm like, oh, that could be big.
Those uniforms are
beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Gotta say, not a big fan of those whiteout ones, though. A lot of people love them.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
I think every single uniform they bring, their uniforms are great.
Yeah.
They have a top 5 uniform in the league. Everything they have.
It is very good. I don't know, top 5.
What are top 5? What's the top 5 right now? The 49ers are classic. Those
49ers are great. I get hate for this. I still love the Cowboys jerseys.
I do like the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys got great jerseys. Chargers are hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
They could be like the nicest jerseys I've ever seen, and then sometimes I'm like, that is gross.
You know what the problem is? The color blue is nice on the Chargers, but it looks like a varsity football jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it looks tacky.
I love the Ram. This is a hot take. I love the Ram jersey. All of them. I love the Rams jerseys. I think they're different, too, than everybody in the league.
My hot take is I love the Jaguar jersey.
Oh, my God.
A lot of people hate the Jaguar jersey.
Coming around in those commie uniforms. Those weren't bad the other day.
Yeah, not bad. I'll tell you my least favorite jersey in the NFL is those damn Seattle Seahawks. I got to get rid of those
I don't like
trash jerseys.
I don't
they
like the
suck.
Hawks.
And the Panthers. Everything about the Panthers is just gross. Those jerseys are outdated. Let's have a little refresh, Mike.
JM, I think you can choose. You're in front. Let me read the scores. I'll read the scores here quick. So JM's record is 4-5 overall. He's got 8 stars.
Yep.
And I am 3-6, and I have 5 stars. I hit the 1 star last week. That was it. You hit the 1 and the 3, or
I hit the
2 and the 3. To take the lead, to jump me there. So you can either start or let me start.
Mike,
decide.
I am going to elect to defer.
You will defer to me.
I will defer to you.
Okay, JM,
Like
here
Matthew
we go.
Slater said, we want to kick off that way.
Right. Awesome. JM.
Get me going here, Mike.
Let's go back to that stadium where Matthew Slater deferred and kicked.
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
New York Jets, -7.5 against those Denver Broncos. I'm going against my Broncos here, but the Jets played one of the more complete games I think the franchise has played in 20 years the other day against the New England Patriots, against a lesser team. They're playing a lesser team once again at home. You have more film now on Bo Nix, Robert Saleh, and his defensive staff. I don't like Robert Saleh, but I do know one thing. Robert Saleh can coach a defense.
Yes.
And Robert Saleh will have his defense, who finally looked good in the year 2024 against the Patriots. He will be ready to go, have that team ready to go against the Broncos. They're a lesser team with a rookie quarterback. There's motivation, I still think, there from the Sean Payton comments a couple of years back. Aaron Rodgers will defend his boy Hackett here. The Jets run up the score on the Broncos. They cover the 7.5.
Mike, like that pick. Mike, also, I just had my pick one of my picks on my boards. The line just moved by a point.
To what?
So that sucks. To 1.5. It was at 2.5.
Yeah, mine moved to 1.5.
It literally all day was at 2.5, and now it's at 1.5.
Which one? Oh yeah. Nice.
So this is what happens. Like, I don't know if anybody took the pick back in week 2. I took the Texans. We talked about this on the show, I think, last week. Took them at 6.5 on the show. The line moved to 5.5 right at the day of the game. Texans end up winning by 6. So my pick technically lost, but if you waited till Sunday and you took the pick, you won. So that's just the nature of the beast. That's how we roll over here. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Okay. All good on the 1-star, Mike.
All good on the 1.
My 1-star, now being demoted to my 1-star with the movement here. I'm making a little panic here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at +1.5. I really liked this line at 2.5. It's just 2.5 feels better. But I'm going to still put them on my board at 1.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'll explain my reasoning. So one of the things I love in gambling is the team that just got smacked the week before coming into this week and playing a team that just got a lucky-ass win that's due for some karma. That is exactly what's going on here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if you guys recall, but last week there was a game between the Carolina Panthers and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
The Raiders don't want to take anything away from them, great win in Baltimore, right? Baltimore, that was on them. They choked that game away. Carolina coming off a brutal loss against the Chargers. Andy Dalton gets put in as a starting quarterback. 5.5-point spread, disrespectful. Red Rifle goes out, throws for 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. I'm liking the same vibe here. The Bucs are coming off a bad loss to the Broncos. I think they're going to avenge themselves. They're at home. The Eagles have not played well here over the past couple times they've came.
No.
Bucs sent them home last year. The Bucs have sent them home twice in their stadium in the playoffs in the past 4 years, I want to say. So I really like the Bucs to get right in this game. I'm not high on the Eagles. The Eagles got a bye week after this week. They're going to have no A.J. Brown. They're probably not going to have Lane Johnson. They might not have Devonta Smith. A lot of pieces missing on that offense. Could be very one-dimensional with Saquon Barkley. The Bucs are going to stop the run. It's going to be put on Jalen Hurts. I don't like that. I like the Bucs to win this game, Mike. Yeah. I'm taking the money line at 1.5. Obviously, it's basically a pick 'em. I'm going to take their money line.
Yeah, I like the Bucs too. It's moving in your favor. The professionals clearly on them at 1.5. It was at 2.5. Now a full jump to 1.5. The Eagles, you can't trust them. I think this will be a high-scoring game because I just think both secondaries kind of have issues. Although the Eagles secondary did look good again last week, but I would be on the Bucs here as well. That's a nice pick.
Thank you.
The 2-star, I had similar movement here. Not really. It was 2. Now it's 1.5. But we're going to take the Indianapolis Colts as a home dog plus 1.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't want to bet the Steelers as a favorite, okay? They're due for a bad game. The Colts offensive line should be able to handle, not dominate, but handle the pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Run the ball, control the clock, put your quarterback in good situations. Don't be behind the sticks. I think they could win this game outright at home. They're due for a good... They didn't play good against Chicago. I trust Shane Steichen to have a good game plan here, and they finally play a good, full, complete game and get a win at home. And the Steelers, I mean, they're just so due for a bad game here. So I'll take the Colts plus 1.5. You don't want to bet Tomlin as a favorite, especially on the road. I'll do it again. I'll fade them. As the
lines go up, but there's no glare today.
Thank God.
Which is good.
It's got to rain. It hasn't rained here in a while.
I know.
Very dad thing to say. Oh, it has to rain.
We also need Anthony Richardson to not, turn the ball over twice a game and have a below. I mean, is this guy Tim Tebow now?
No.
46 completion percentage?
He has to, they have to put him in good situations. He has to take what's in front of him, take the easy completions, and he has to stop. He made a terrible decision. He just flipped the ball into the end zone.
That was a terrible throw.
Terrible.
I mean, just completely, it was a little like.
It looked like a sidearm flip.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it was.
He tried to get it to the back of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
He was never going to get it there with his angle. Mm-hmm. It was a really bad decision. He's got to not play stupid, and I think they have a chance to win. This isn't an incredibly talented team.
Yeah.
Like, the Steelers are – we put a clip out today. The Steelers aren't that good. No. They're not a 3-0 team. No. Their defense is great, but they are so beatable.
So this is now 3 out of 4 weeks for you that the Pittsburgh Steelers, not as your pick, but just the Pittsburgh Steelers have been involved with your board.
Yes, because I had them week 1.
Atlanta. You had them covering against Atlanta. Yep. You had them not covering against Denver.
Yes, I stayed
and
away from them last week.
Now you have them not covering against the Colts.
And I have the Colts this week.
You love the Steelers, bro.
I'm fading the Steelers.
You talk a lot about the Steelers. You love them.
I'm fading the Steelers.
Deep down, Mike loves the Steelers. He doesn't want to admit it.
I love old school good defense, but I don't like bad quarterback play and getting lucky on offense. That's what I don't like. You got to have some sort of competence level.
Let me ask you a quick question. And, I'm going to make you think about pooping your pants a little bit.
Oh, God.
The thought of Anthony Richardson just getting absolutely put in jail by this defense, is that going to your mind at all when you put your money on this?
This is an ugly 16-13 game. This is what it is. You got to win them ugly. I couldn't find an ugly dog. This is the ugliest dog I could find this week that I liked.
Chris Boswell in a dome, Mike. Terrifying.
He's on the fantasy team.
Chris Boswell, good ball player. Guy can kick it.
He can. That's why, again, it's 16-13. No problem. 16-12.
Sure. Why not 15-12? Let's just do 5 field goals versus 4.
That's fine.
Who's
the field goal kicker on the?
Is
it still Matt Gay?
It might be. These kickers, I don't know.
It might be Matt Gay.
It's probably Matt Gay. Fact check that. Stat guy that we don't have. Check that.
Your 2-star.
All right, my 2-star. So I am going to go with a game that we already talked about, and it's not what you think. I am going to take the Detroit Lions at -3.5. I really hope this line doesn't move by Sunday, guys. I'm really sorry if it does. But as of right now, it is currently Wednesday night. We're taking them at 3.5. I took them last week. The Lions, to me, are I took them a lot last year, too. They're just a fun team to bet on because what you get with the Lions is not every NFL team, no NFL team, I should say, is consistent, right? Nobody week in and week out, you know exactly what you're getting. But the Lions, to me, are as close as you can get to knowing what you're getting. And we talked about it. The Seahawks, an illegitimate 3-0. Something is due to come their way this weekend. And Monday night, it's going to be a show. The Lions are home. I honestly think it's a disrespectful spread at 3.5. I think this should more be like 4.5, maybe even 5. Really like the Lions here. Win this game by a touchdown. I'm kind of just closing. I'm just kind of hitting accept bet and not looking back.
Yeah, I think this will be 4 when you get it. I would bet it now. I think it'll probably go back to 4 where it was. But, yeah, I'm not surprised you made the switch because it's a good switch. I do like the Lions here. They're not my 3-star, but I really do like the Lions.
Thank you. I like when you instill that confidence in me.
You do?
Yeah. Oh,
especially when I've been a little cold.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Last week.
I'm not going to steal your thunder on your 3-star you're about to say, but I really am scared now that you said the Jets because, no offense, but, you haven't been on the best streak recently, and now the Jets are on your board.
No,
but they're not your 3-star. And they can still win.
Last week, how many games were there? 16 games? Was it 13 16 games on Sunday?
Yep.
I think I went 10. If I picked every game with the spread, I probably went 10-3, 9-4, and I had 2 games on my board that were losers. I really saw the board well last week, just didn't reflect on our picks.
You can't trust this guy.
You might not be able to. No, you can.
This guy tells you to pick one thing and he picks the other.
This is good.
He went 16-0. He's got thousands of dollars in his FanDuel.
No, I don't. I have 100.
Bleep that out. No free ads.
I have 100.
No free ads.
Okay. The 3-star. The Arizona Cardinals -3.5. It may seem risky, but it's not. They're playing the Commanders. The Commanders coming off a huge statement win. They're, coming out party on Monday Night Football against Cincinnati. But now it's a short week, and they have to travel cross country. This spread opened at 5.5 before the Monday night game. It's now 3.5. I love this. I absolutely love this. It is such a perfect letdown spot for a team with an awful defense that can't stop a nosebleed. The Kyler Murray-led Cardinals are going to score 30 points in this game. They're coming off a game where they really didn't play bad against the Lions.
No,
they did not play bad in that game, and the defense stepped up in the second half of that game. So the Cardinal defense looks better than I think anybody expected. I think they win this game big in a huge letdown spot for the Washington Commanders, who looked great, and Daniels looked amazing. But I think short week, flying cross country.
This guy's got to stop.
This is a big win for the Cardinals.
I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, I know. There's somebody walking outside.
It could be July 4th weekend. This guy's outside all the time in a full suit and a beanie on.
Good for him.
What are we doing?
Good for him. He's dressing
do
to
we not
impress.
Sweat?
He's dressing to impress.
What did you say this game is going to be for the Cardinals?
What do you mean?
Or something about a party or something like that?
Coming out party. No, I said last week was the coming out party for the Commanders.
Oh. I was going to say I remember your coming out party.
Whoa.
Back in the day.
Whoa. What do you mean by that?
Take it as you will.
Wow.
Okay.
How do you mean that? But yeah, I do love the Commanders here and the Cardinals here.
I like
not
the Cardinals.
Commanders.
Yeah, what?
Also, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Maybe we can use this as a clip. You want to go through a would you rather right now? Who would you rather have, Jaden Daniels or somebody? Or should we say that for next week?
Let's rip it.
All right. Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts?
Wow. This year?
This year, next year?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels or C.J. Stroud?
C.J. Stroud.
Jaden Daniels or Sam Darnold?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels or
Let's
Anthony Richardson?
Jaden Daniels by a mile. Can we just preface this real quick?
Yeah.
This is like who I would rather have.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, like, Sam Darnold's having a great year, but, like, if you put them in the same situation, I'd rather have Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
Jaden Daniels or Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels or Jared Goff?
Jaden Daniels.
Love it. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay. Jaden Daniels getting a lot of hype. He really does.
Yeah.
He looks like the real deal.
He looks great.
I mean, if he stays healthy, he doesn't put himself in bad situations, getting hit, he's going to be legit.
Yep.
JM, your 3-star. Sorry to stall.
That's all good, Mike. My 3-star. Let me pull up my freaking 3-star because I keep forgetting what the hell it is. I'm having mind blanks right now. Oh, I know what my 3-star is. Got this guy with the freaking beanie. Mike, love this.
Let's hear it.
Love the pick. Can I get a little go pack go?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? A little something like that. Green Bay Packers 2.5 at home -2.5. Love it. Absolutely love it. Jordan Love's going to be back this week. This team, they might not even need Jordan Love. Malik Willis is out here winning 2-0 for them. A little quarterback controversy in Green Bay? No, but love the Packers this week. Listen, Vikings are way less fraudulent 3-0 than the Seahawks. Like, the Vikings are a legitimately good ball club. Jets play them next week. Little scared. We'll see how they look this week against the Packers.
You know what the spread is on that game?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Neutral site. I'm going to go Jets -1.5.
Flip it.
Wow. Okay. That's not. I don't have a problem with that. They look great. They look really good.
Yeah.
But
Could change. Will change.
let me walk you through the Vikings, all right? Brian Flores he should win Coach of the Year, and he's not even a damn head coach. I mean, what he's done with this defense has been crazy. They've been at home the past 2 weeks. They played a 49ers team that is struggling right now, and They also played a Texans team that they just flat out beat them. I don't know what the hell happened with the Texans, but they just flat out beat them and embarrassed them. Now it's time for a little bit of a test. Okay, Vikings, big bad Vikings. You're 3-0. You're skipping around. You're riding high. Sam Darnold's in the MVP conversation, this and that. Now you got to go to Lambeau Field, and you got to play a division rival, a team that you've always had classic battles with. The Vikings have been respectable in this series 100%. This isn't Packers-Bears, where the Packers just own them. Like, the Vikings and the Packers have had really good battles over the past 5 years plus. A little bit different now. This isn't Kirk Cousins versus Aaron Rodgers. This is Jordan Love versus Sam Darnold. Mike, it's a big test for them, and I don't know if they're ready for it. The Green Bay Packers are a very good team. That defense is massively improved from last year. It is very good. And I think Love's, you told me before you're a little concerned if Love's going to be able to move around and whatnot. They're not going to play him if they don't think he can move around like that. And I think last week he could have played and maybe he would have been a little bit hobbled, but they knew the stakes of this game coming up, and they knew, okay, we could beat Tennessee with Malik Willis. No big deal. Let Love take another week to heal. And it's no longer Love's been rushed back. They said like 3 to 6 weeks or whatever it is. It's been 3 weeks now. So Love is in the window. He's perfectly healthy. He'll get cleared by the doctors. And I love the Packers to win this game by 3 or more.
Yeah, I do like the Packers as well in this game. I worry a little bit about Love's mobility. I don't think this is going to be the Vikings are, and I know you're not saying this, but the Vikings aren't as good. Vikings are frauds. This is going to be a good game. I just think the Packers come out on top. I think this is a really good
exactly.
game.
I think it is 100% going to be a really good game. Mike, one thing I really, really liked that confirmed this for me. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but last year was okay, the public beat Vegas up.
Yeah, they did.
Already it's starting to come back now. Actually, the past 2 years, but especially last year, Vegas was getting beat up. Now Vegas is starting to get their get back.
17-30-1 against the spread is the public.
20% of the money is on the Packers. 20%. And when you look at the way that these games have gone this year that the public is losing, it's not the ones where the public is 60 on it and 60% on one and 55% on one. No, it is the heavy public bet games that the public is losing. Like the Buccaneers last week, like the Ravens 2 weeks ago. Public is heavy. It's the heaviest public bet of the week of the Vikings to cover this spread. I'm fading the public. I'm going with the Pack, and they're gonna cover this spread.
Like the Pack.
Yep.
Good bet, Mike. Good bet.
Thank you, bro.
All right, my bets before we wrap up.
Sorry, correction. 89% Saints are the highest public bet. Second are the Packers. Second are the Vikings at 80%.
I really bonus pick. Really like the Falcons this week. Even though there's a bad trend against short divisional favorites, home favorites. Not a good trend. It's like 44% the last few years, but I still like the Falcons. All right, before we wrap up, my picks are the Jets -7.5, the 2-star, the Colts +1.5, and the 3-star, the Cardinals -3.5.
My 1-star is the Buccaneers +1.5. My 2-star is the Lions -3.5, and my 3-star is the Packers -2.5.
Are we doing a parlay here? What do you want to do? This is on the spot, behind the scenes.
Well, I was saying that we've just been, we've been going out saying these touchdown parlays, everything like that. I've been thinking personally to try to get a little bit more creative, look at some over-unders, mix in some weird stuff.
Let's give a touchdown and an over-under, and we'll parlay them.
Okay. 2 each?
I had one each.
One each.
That's the parlay. A total each and a touch. I already have mine.
Well, they got to correlate with my star picks. I mean, if I'm thinking some of these guys are going to score, I'm going to say that Mike Evans gets back on track this week.
There we go.
I'm going to say Mike Evans finds his way in the end zone.
I like Josh Jacobs. He hasn't scored yet. Josh Jacobs is getting in the end zone this week. He's so due. Jacobs hasn't gotten in as a Packer. He gets in this week.
You know your total pick?
I know my total pick.
Go ahead.
I heard this stat the other day. I was listening to some podcast. Apparently, the totals the last 2 years, if it's over 50.5, they're going under at a crazy rate. Yeah. So anything with 5-0, you see a 50, you're supposed to go under. So let's go under the Cardinals-Commander game, a game that's my 3-star. We'll take the under 50.5. We're going under.
I'm also going to go under on the game that is my 3-star. I'm going to take the under 43.5 in the Packers-Vikings game.
Packers. Really?
20-17 Packers. Cover the spread. Win the game. Under hits. Right off into the sunset.
There we go. So that's the parlay. We'll put that out there, and we will bet that. I kept forgetting to bet our touchdown score, so we'll bet that. Put that parlay out there for you guys with the odds. I don't have it at the moment. And that's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote.
Hopefully we both go 3-0. Well, hopefully I go 3-0 and
I hope so.
get back into this thing,
Yeah.
even though it's only 3 stars I'm out. So we'll see what
Still
happens.
very early.
Very, very early. We're looking at Liberty playoff tickets right now.
Yeah.
I was looking before, so
This guy's
we're gonna be getting to a Liberty playoff game. Very excited for that, and we'll talk to you guys next week.